There goes Paul. He did all the sound on Guidestones. He's a genius. Bye, Paul. I came to the transmedia world as a filmmaker, but what I'm finding very interesting is that I can't just be a filmmaker while I'm here. I have to actually know what's going on in new technology. I have to know what's going on out there in the world of how people are interacting with the technology and with their media so that I can be including that. So for instance, when we were creating Guidestones, QR codes were actually really, really new, and I found out about them during production, and so we included those into the series.
You know, something like a QR code is a good example of kind of like examining this new channel or this new portal into a story world, like a QR code, and examining it in terms of like, is it so new that it's going to confound our audience? I want to make sure that they feel like they're experiencing a new breed of story delivered in an interesting way, but it feels comfortable enough for them to you know, and the barrier of entry is low enough to kind of have a wide stream appeal.
I mean, transmedia producers are constantly experimenting with new technologies, and that can be great, and you can expose new technologies and get people excited about new technologies, but it can also be a problem, because if your audience doesn't pick up on it, then you may have a whole part of your project that's reliant on something that nobody wants to use.
I think that a lot of the perceived risk that we have, or the effort that we invest in educating our audience, I think that will diminish over time as a couple of things happen. Certainly as the younger people, you know, continue to grow up, they're very savvy in this multi-channel storytelling. So I think that long term we have job security, Jay. but in the short,
okay, can you call my wife and tell her that? Audience expectations and audience interaction is different depending on the medium always. You know, when I go to a movie theater, I know that I'm going to sit down for an hour and a half or more and watch a story. If I'm watching television, I know that my attention span is shorter. Online audiences are really, really unique and really different, and often hard to understand.
Transmedia storytelling, you know, studios or agencies like Campfire and 42 Entertainment, No Mimes Media, and others come up with narratives that work often on 3 levels. And I'm going to totally steal what Campfire says here. Their audiences for a single narrative are threefold. There are the dippers, right? And these are skimmers, and these are the people that just, you know, consume a little bit of the top layer of your transmedia narrative. Then there are dippers who go a few levels deeper into the narrative and are kind of often blown away by this emerging form of storytelling. They likely are more likely to tell their friends. And then there are the divers, and these are the people that are kind of the completionists, right? And they go in and they're like looking through source code of your websites. Those divers, while they represent a very small number of the audience, are the most ardent evangelists for the content. That's another interesting kind of story design challenge that people like you and I have, is concocting a narrative that can work on 3 simultaneous levels and still deliver a very narratively satisfying experience.
It's really important for transmedia creators to have a community who can help cross-promote and share their content. It's actually essential, otherwise nothing would get out there.
I was a guy with a $50 microphone, you know, reading my novels into a podcast and putting out 1 week at a time. And what that required me to do was to network with fellow creatives to help them and ask them to help me spread the word about my work, and then connect personally with my consumers and my fans. If they evangelized my work, I would reward them by thanking them on my website and on my podcast, and personally reaching out and personally answering every single email. All of that stuff, which is a full-time job and a half, all on its own, really helped me understand the meaningful connection between consumer and creator. If you successfully woo your audience with great content and then authentic interaction with them, they'll take bullets for you. They will do anything for you.